And with that, we're going to go across the pond again, but this time to Spain, which is very exciting. España. This is our Spain Tapas of Mind, where we're going to cover everything in Spain as a center of film, TV, animation, and digital media production. We'll talk about some locations, tax credits, IP, producing in the country, which has really become one of the top destination centers, not only in Europe, but around the world. So much exciting things coming out of Spain right now. So we're super, super excited by our amazing group of panelists today, starting with directly to my left is Patricia Motilla, who is the partner head of culture, sports, and entertainment for Anderson Global in Madrid. Welcome, Patricia. And of course, we have Sara Fernandez Velasco, who is the CEO of, I hope I say this right, Itzen Group? Itzen?
You can say
Itzen? I love it. Okay, we'll go with Itzen. Itzen Group. And in addition, she's the managing director and Zebra Productions, who is known for the amazing series. If you haven't seen it already, you can see it on Amazon Prime. El Cid. Welcome, Sarah. Next to her is Teresa Azcona, who is the Director General of the Spain Film Commission in Madrid. So, welcome, Teresa. And last but not least, of course, is Sergio Pisolante, who is the president and partner of Sequoia Studios right here in Miami, Florida. Welcome, Sergio. In addition, obviously, Sequoia being probably, the largest production company in Spain, working right now, doing so many amazing projects. So thank you so much for being here, and excited to hear about some of the projects that you're working on with Sequoia right now. Yeah, it's going to be amazing. And now we are going to turn it over for a very special presentation to see how you can be part of the action in Spain. Here it is. Patricia Motilla.
Thank you very much, everybody. Good afternoon. Thank you very much, Patty. Thank you very much, Jose Luis, for the great organization. And thank you very much for Movolas to organize and to give us the opportunity to be here in Miami to talk about Spain. I'm going to talk about tax profit in Spain. And if a foreign producer is considering filming in Spain, it is possible. It's important to make sure and to have some decision in pre-green light, because this decision will affect the cash flow of your show. In this sense, in Spain we have a very good tax benefit, but you have to prepare your show to benefit of them. You have a tax rebate that can be monetized in Spain, that can be monetized in Spain, and the foreign producer will get the cash back from the Spanish tax authority. The rates of this tax rebate will be different depending on the location. This means you have different territory. If you go to Canary Island, you can obtain the cash back different than if you shoot in the mainland territory. In Canary Island, the percentage to be applied is the 54% on the first €1,000,000 you invest in Canary Island, and 45% on the exceed, with a cap of €18 million. If you shoot in mainland territory, the rate you will apply on the amount invested in mainland territory will be the 30% in the first €1,000,000 and the 25% on the exceed, with a cap of €10 million. And you will be able to demand the cash back of the amount of this amount invested in Spain. That is very important. Please, if you don't understand anything, please cut me, okay? You can cut me and we discuss because it's a bit difficult. Okay. And I'm going to say something that is really, really, really new from yesterday, just when I was getting the flights. Okay, we're going to have a new percentage to be applied in the Basque territory. You see the red point. The north of Spain, there are 3 provinces, where one of them is Bilbao, and the amount, the law is not approved yet, so we have to be to check everything. But in the beginning, what we have been informed about the tax authority then is that the percentage will be, if of the total cost incurred in Spain, you incur the 50% of your show in this territory, you can have a cashback of the 60%. That means that if you incur absolutely all your cost in Spain, you will have the 60% back of all your cost, okay? The percentage of expenses incurred is between the 35 and 50%. The rate to be applied is the 50%. If you incur between 20 and 35, the rate of cashback will be 40%. And if you go under the 20%, you will have the 35%. And very important, no cap. We think, but it's not sure, so please, we have to follow about that there won't be a cap in this territory. Because, as I said, we have 18 million euros in Canary Island, 10 million euros in mainland territory, and it could be possible that we won't have cap in this territory, in the north of Spain. Okay. There are other requirements that must be followed. That's the reason why the best way of doing, if you want to come to Spain to shoot, is to prepare your show in pre-green light and in pre-production, because the requirements are, it's compulsory to produce through a Spanish line service. If you want to obtain the Canarian tax benefit, the line service must be tax resident in the Canary Island. The total cost, the worldwide of the production, must be more than 2 million euros. The taxable base has a limit that is the 80% of the total budget. And the total cashback you can have, except for some territories, is the 50% of the cost of the production, the total cost, the worldwide cost. And you need also to invest at least 1 million euros. You have to pass the cultural test. And related to the cost, pay attention, because you will have, it will be considered as eligible expenses only if it's a European cost and with a cap of 100,000 euros. Any questions with that? Okay, Sarah, no questions?
I know it by heart.
Yes. Another thing important is the credit. You have to know that you may be required, if you obtain a Spanish tax benefit, you must announce that in the credits of the show. And also, if you have had any collaboration of the government, autonomous community, or any film commission. And you can be required for the cultural and the ministry for audiovisual press material. Well, that's very important. That's what the timing. When can you receive the cash back? If you see the slide, during year 1, you produce your show. You finish at the end of the production. Okay, so in the 2022, for example, you finish in 2022, and on the 25th of July, the Spanish line service of the 2023 will present the company income tax, and is there where the line service will demand the cash back. And the tax authority have 6 months to give you the money. That means that it will take more or less 1 year or 13 or 14 months on obtaining the money back. That's why if you need the money for your shooting or to produce the film, we can always finance it with a special entity, Spanish special, a financial entity, which are specialized in audiovisual. Okay?
And what do they charge for that?
Well, good question. Well, it's really is. I have the figures, but I can send it to you later. What this entity does is to give a guarantee to the bank. So you have double cost, but it's 0.05 points of commission and 0.1 for the cost of the hedge. And the bank now, because of the interest, I think is more or less 2 points Euribor. But I have everything. I took it in case somebody asks me. I will send it to you. Okay.
But this is very relevant because these are the normal timings. But then I mean we are in a situation now where we are having a tax inspection, which is all good, but it delays things. So having this in mind, it's very very interesting. But you need to have the whole picture in mind, knowing that it may be delayed, especially if it's large amounts of money. They may want to review it.
Plus,
Yeah, you increase the cost, and independent, but the financial cost is going to be considered as eligible until you finish the show. Once you finish it, it's not more eligible.
I have a question.
Yeah.
If you were to have a project in Spain and you were not only film, let's say, directly on the mainland, but also in Tenerife and also another area, can you cumulatively take advantage of all the tax credits simultaneously, or you're only allowed one?
No, you have a cap with proportional. If you go to Canary Island, in any of the islands, you will always have the Canary Island tax benefit. If you shoot between Canary Island and mainland territory, you will apply the proportional to the
Local spend?
to the location of the expenses, and the cap will be calculated as a proportional of the investment. According to the new tax benefit in the north, I don't know how to answer because depending of what the tax authority will say about that, because the north is totally different. The taxable regulation is totally different in the north of the rest of Spain. But you can mix both.
When you talk about the north, is that
I mean,
vast
Bilbao,
territory?
the vast territory. The north is vast territory, the new one, the new tax rebates. One is not exactly tax rebates, but okay. Any other question? Okay, let's see some examples. Okay. We assume we're going to shoot in mainland territory. So the American producer will sign with the Spanish producer a PSA. Very important. A film or show is considered foreign film from the Spanish point of view when the IP is American. If the IP is Spanish or has the double nationality, is the law to be applied is totally different. So in this example, we assume that the IP is American, and the American sign a PSA with the Spanish producer. We have a cost of show of 5 million euros. You have a limit of taxable base, that is the 80% of the 5 million euros, that is the 4 million euros. So you will apply the 30% and the 25%, and the total cashback you will obtain is 1,050,000 euros. That's easy to understand. Okay. The same exercise with Canary Island is exactly the same. The only difference is the rates you apply. You see, I'm applying the 54% and the 45%. The cashback you will have is really significant. Okay, it's 1,890,000 euros. Well, I prepare everything in euros, not in dollars. Anyway.
It's the same now. It's the same now.
Yeah, now it's the same, yes.
Only the color.
only the color change. No? Okay, so great difference, okay, between shooting in Canary Island and shooting in mainland territory. The difference is exactly 840,000 euros. Quite a big amount. Any question?
It's true also that the costs in the Canary Islands are
The production.
higher. The production cost is higher, especially. I mean, it depends on where you're coming from, but due to the scarcity now of teams and everything, and the very, very interesting tax credit, it's worth taking into account that the actual net difference is probably lower than that because you will spend more.
They have this special tax system because they are a group of islands, southern Spain, but very, very south of Spain. Okay, it's
In
like,
Africa, actually.
Yes, 3 hours by plane.
Yeah, actually, Anderson, we are all firm that we do all that. Sergio, in this moment, he will explain you. We are with a show, and we are doing everything in Canary Island. He will explain it. International co-production, because most of you, if you're not a platform, what you think always is to go to Spain with a producer, with a co-production. What is a co-production from a Spanish point of view? The co-production means that the IP belongs to two producers, a Spanish one and an American one. The first requirement to be followed, and that is very, very, very important before to start your show, even before to start to write, is that from a Spanish point of view, the international co-production must be approved by the Ministry of Culture, the ICA. And for that, it's necessary that all the creative part must be proportional to the percentage you have. Instead, the experience we have in the office is that it's quite easy because you just have to go before a notary to sign and to accept the international co-production, and that's all. But when you arrive to Spain, before to start anything, we recommend you to have a meeting with the culture authorities in order to be sure that they will accept the co-production, because it's much easier to change anything of the scripts before to start than when we have already everything prepared. Okay. When you have a co-production, that means that, assuming that you have 50-50, you have 50 of the IP belongs to America, 50 of the IP belongs to Spain. So that means that the show has double nationality. So what happens with the tax benefits? From the point, the American one, we will apply exactly the same thing. You will have the cash back. But for the 50% Spanish, even if the rates are the same, the tax benefits are different. So it's very important when you prepare the finance of your film with your producer, with your co-producer Spanish, you have two here, to prepare the cash flow and to prepare the cost of the film, taking into account that the Spanish part will be different from the American one, and the Spanish part will have to pay some commission because they need to sell to private tax investors with a discount the credit. From the foreign part, you will have the cash back. It's different from the tax authority. Okay, any question? I finish. I mean, I give the ideas. Any other question? Well, or I did it very well, or I did it very well.
But what you were saying just at the end, actually, it's even, I think it's easier, the mechanism for foreign productions to get the tax credit back than it is for us when we're doing a Spanish production. It's much more straightforward, which we would like to change from the Spanish perspective, but it's great for you guys, actually.
Yeah, and in the reel it shows how many shows that are global or that are spoken in English have been shot in Spain.
Absolutely. Great presentation. Thank you again so much, Patricia, for all that exciting knowledge. Now we know what it takes to shoot in Spain. And so we are going to turn it over to our other distinguished panelists. So, Sarah, just talk to us a little bit about the process of getting this film or this series made in Spain.
Well, let's say to start with what she finished, I think one of the El Cid was one of the most ambitious projects from Amazon in Europe. I think even to date, it's true that they've done another few big shows out of the UK and in some places in Europe, but I think they decided to go for this in Spain among other reasons because of the very interesting tax incentives that are there. And I think that shows not only with Amazon and this show and a few others that are coming, but also with Netflix. Like the Netflix Spanish shows have become one of the most popular and most successful worldwide. And I think it seems not irrelevant, but when we're talking about content and as producers, we always seem to think IP is important, the talent is important, of course, locations. I mean, I think we have all of these things definitely in Spain, but the fact that we have this extra coming from the legislation and from the tax definitely helps and has helped a lot as producers to have the chance to get bigger budgets coming from the platforms earlier on, let's say, than other countries probably in Europe, so that's one thing. I think we for El Cid, so it's this morning Karen was saying she'd been working 22 years
Right.
on a show. We had been working for a very long time, I would say nearly 10 years on the development of El Cid.
Wow.
But we never found a home for it. I think everyone loved it, everyone knew the IP, but there was no one that had basically the money to pay for a production of this size in Spain. And it would, like, the normal place for it would have been the public broadcaster, TV, but there was no way they could afford it. And actually our initial idea was to have a co-production between a platform and a free-to-air channel, but Amazon said, we want it all, we'll pay for it, we'll do an original. So once Amazon landed in Spain, literally, I think it was the first meeting they took with us, it was very, very quick to get it done and sold. But not produced, sold.
Well, it's like I said earlier.
Then you have to produce it.
Then you have
Yes.
to produce it. But I have to say, except for the fact that after 7 months of production, we were about to finish end of March 2020, and we had literally 10 days to go, and then everything went down. So that was what made it hard. It was. I'm not going to say easy because it wasn't, but it was easier than we thought it would be when we first started. So.
Wow. So it was a lot of hurry up and wait, and then really hurry up.
Exactly.
That's great.
They really pushed in terms of timings, but we did it. So from the moment we got a green light, which was like in December 2017, we were in production by that September. So
Wow.
we were shooting September and we finished in March with a small 10 days to go. But so it was quite quick. A year and a half we did the whole project.
And in terms, just going back to what Patricia was discussing, the sort of the production scheme behind it. So this was a Spanish IP, correct? Your production company is located in Spain.
She's going to do like this.
I know she's going to raise her hand, but obviously it was financed by an American company, technically,
Which
right?
bought the IP.
Which bought the IP.
Exactly. So
and
it
which
was created by us and developed by us, but then Amazon, when they do an original, they want to keep everything, basically. So they bought the IP, which made the IP foreign, which allowed us to benefit from this tax rebate for foreign productions in Spain.
Okay, so it was treated as a foreign production,
It was treated as a
ultimately.
foreign
Okay,
production.
see, Patricia, I'm learning.
So
Poquito a
be
poquito.
very careful when you So if you ask me, it's a Spanish IP because it was created in Spain, produced in Spain, but formally it wasn't because it was actually acquired by a foreign.
Right. So yeah, let's turn over to Teresa, and then I want to talk to Sergio. So, what would in a production like this or many others, sort of talk a little bit more about specifically what your office does in terms of helping to put this puzzle together?
Okay.
You can pick up the mic as well. You can take it off the
I prefer this,
yeah.
yes.
American Idol style.
And then I will
Yes.
pass it to Sergio.
Or La Voz.
First, I would like to send thank you. Thank you, yes, for the wonderful team of Kamakol and Patty and you, because I'm so happy to be here. Because it's my second time in Miami, but last year it was a Zoom, and it's not the same. It's not the same to be here, and really, I'm thankful for everything, and very excited about all this, and really looking forward to meet each of you in the pitchings. And so, answering your question, what we do, of course, we are Spain Film Commission. We are the Film Commission for the state, for the whole country. Our network, we are 35 different offices throughout Spain, is everywhere. We are in Canary Islands, we are in the north, in Bilbao, we are in Madrid, we are in Barcelona, everywhere in Spain. And we are close to the places where the producers are filming, and we are there to help. We are there to help with permits. We are there to help with visas if you are coming from abroad. We are there to help to find production companies, partners, and anything that you may need in Spain. That is our main role.
Great. So you guys are finders, fixers, and friends. I will give you the 3 Fs.
No, I think it's
Good Fs.
It's family, friends, and fools.
And family, friends, and food. Wow, that's great. You're good at improv. I like you.
No. We are not family.
Right.
Of course, we are friends.
Yeah.
Perhaps a bit full. Yes.
There has to be.
But most, I think, we are there. We are there. When you go to Bilbao, there will be a field commissioner there for
Yes.
you. When
Wow.
you go to Canary Islands, the same. Yeah. And we will talk more about this.
Absolutely. Yes.
You will all go either to Bilbao or Canary.
You must go.
Bilbao coming
So, Sergio, let's talk a little bit about you and sort of your unique sort of place in this world, because, obviously, and everyone's read your impressive bio. You are Venezuelan, correct?
Yes.
But based in Miami, but now you have this unique relationship with Sequoia, which I mentioned is, a very major production company based in Spain. So talk a little bit about your particular work with Sequoia.
Yes, so I feel like a fish out of water in this panel. But in the same way that I feel when I work with my counterparts in Spain, because I was the outsider coming in, and when I was invited to participate, and again, thank you for having us. I agree that these things are phenomenally important. I said I think the perspective that I can give the people in the room is that 3.5 years ago, I tried to sell Zorro. We had the rights to do it in Spanish. First, I tried the independent route, which I'm sure most of you struggle to get a project off the ground. 95% of producing is finding the money, and then 5% is actually making
Spending.
it. Correct. So I then went the Hollywood route, and I was sort of laughed out, like, Zorro, and I'm like, these people are crazy. And I got on a plane. I landed in Spain. I met with bunch of companies. I would have worked with any of them. And I met David Martinez, who's the producer. And in the same way Sarah was talking about, from pitching to being on set, I can say that it was a super fast-track process when they said, we're doing this, getting into development and putting together the business model, the tax credits, going out to market. And I'm happy to report we have two productions going on right now. Montecristo, which is a mini-series we're shooting in Madrid, with the help of the Spanish Film Commission. We're moving to Canary Island, some of the production, because it takes place in Cuba, and we're replicating Cuba and Miami on the Canary Island. Obviously, there's tax incentives there. And then we're doing Zorro, which is, I think, the biggest. It's certainly our biggest show ever. 10 episodes. It's I don't want to say numbers, but it's big, and it's very big. And I have to say, El Cid, and I want to commend you guys, because when I was trying to explain to the world what we were trying to do, we started showing up Cid. I said, this is what they do in Spain. Because they wouldn't relate to Isabel, Catedral del Mar. And yes, they would see money heist, but no, I was talking horses, extras, Lawrence of Arabia. Yes, and this is the only country in my world that speaks Spanish, because in our backyard, Latin America, sure, Colombia has they want to get into tax credits, but nobody knows how to activate it, how to get it approved. So there are folk tales about a production company that did a big show. I don't want to say, everybody will figure out which show it was, but they retained the IVA, el tax, and then they weren't supposed to keep it. And the streamer was like, okay, I guess you had me, haha. But guess what? That created a big problem because everything gets triple audited. Oh, because the Latinos are going to do their thing. DR, similar with the movies and the series. Then people say, oh, we'll shoot it as a movie and then we'll split it in episodic. And in Spain, you don't get that. You talk to real law firms and you talk to a film commission. You have regional benefits to work in one place or another. And it's an evolving thing. Bilbao just came out with it. I was aware of it. Because we're looking for, okay, so what are we going to do in Bilbao now? So murder in Bilbao.
If anyone has that can be shot in the north of Spain, very green.
Yeah, it's a particular setting, correct. So
it's our next pitch competition.
Yeah, so I guess what I will wrap it up is saying yes, I thankfully I work with a phenomenal Spanish company, but up until 4 months ago, I was sitting on that side. Like I was an independent producer that said, I can only achieve this if I find the right people in Spain, and I'm happy to report that I found my right people there. But anywhere you go in Spain, because of 20, 30 years of a big budget television, big budget movies, there's an ecosystem, una cantera, as you say.
Right.
Like Canary Island, they're running out of crews, but it's different than Mexico, that they're running out of crews because people are not getting up to speed in time. In Spain, it's because they've been doing it so long, but there's so much going on that it's a different type of problem.
But on that, I think there's one thing where there's room for improvement in Spain, and I think this is relevant for the room because we're finding as producers there that we're struggling to find for certain positions people that speak English, that have let's say a more international mindset, because it has traditionally been a very local industry up until 5 years ago when the platforms came. So we are very actively, at least from my company, but I know we're not the only ones, looking for people that maybe come from Latin America, from here, that speak English, that speak Spanish, that are more open-minded and have international experience. And it's not easy to find those profiles for a certain position. So I think there is definitely an opportunity there.
Actually, one of the objectives of our work with Patty, we have meeting absolutely each 15 days, more or less, is to build a bridge between American and Miami producer and Spanish, as she has the knowledge of the industry in America, and in the law firm, in our law firm with Teresa, we work very close to the Spain Film Commission, and Sergio and Zara, that are one of our best clients. We know very well the Spanish industry. So what we are trying, Patricia and Anderson, is to build, and Jose Luis also. Poor Jose Luis. And we are trying to build a bridge in order to connect your interest with the Spanish producer interest. And I think we started 2 years ago, and we have advanced a lot, and we have to still go in there in order to help you to know what we do, and to benefit from the tax benefit, and to try to do international co-production. But for that, it's very important to start before at the same time that the script, when you have the idea, when you start to prepare absolutely everything in order to optimize the requirements and to look for the right Spanish producer. That's very important.
Yeah, no, very well said, and thank you so much for those kind words, and it has been a great partnership so far, so we're very proud and happy that it's all come together and giving opportunities, because like you mentioned, what Miami does have is this sort of multicultural ability to work in English and Spanish, to understand not only the North American or general market, but with ties to Latin America and the international as well. So it has become a proving ground for the types of talent that I think work very well, particularly with Spain. So we're excited to see how this is going to grow. And again, congrats to you guys as producers for, rewriting the rules and being able to do productions like El Cid and now like Zorro that are basically, creating the new Hollywood outside of the system, which is phenomenal. Yeah.
I'd
So,
like to add something really quickly, and what you said, Senor, was right on the money, because Jose Luis and I started this 12 years ago, and then we went to the UK, and fantastic, and then they let us here and to Spain, and we've been wanting to work so much with Spain, and Miami's a perfect bridge, because, we're both cultures, and we totally get what you're saying about Latam, we're all Latam, but the ethic or the structure and the formality that Spain has is very important. And also what you're doing with Zorro has to be commended. Because JL and I, when we started MMFM, we had to go totally Anglo, we had to go to totally UK. I was telling Brenda Gilbert that yesterday, that if JL and I had gone to the Latam route since the beginning, we would have been stuck in a box. Which you get it. We had heard of your project Zorro, and we thought it was fantastic a few years ago. So congratulations.
And to that point, now because we're on set, it's a real thing. But you have to remember the memorable Zorros are the Disney, Guy William black and white that we all grew up and still would watch. Then Banderas, and then there was this gap in the middle. And there are multiple reasons, multiple rights. It was a blurry IP, who owns it, who controls it.
right.
Long story short, now because it's real, it's like, oh, sorry. But trust me, when we independent producers, Glenda, Paganinis is out there, nobody would listen to us. And what I would tell anybody is that even with Zorro, I had to find somebody that said, wait a minute, Zorro? Oh, but it was after 100 no's. And because, like I said, finding a representative, I hit the jackpot. So much so that I was looking for a dinner date, and I ended up marrying these people. Now we have our first kid, 2 kids. By the way, I don't rep the whole studio. I rep the commercial, the money. So yes, in a way. But to that point, it's like this is a business of. I heard out there that ABC used to always be closing. Now there's a new acronym for that, and the B stands for buoyancy, which is how do I stay afloat, pay my bills as I find the right person to achieve my vision. And then you gotta be super flexible about how you go around it. And this is again to your point. In Spain, we're all hustling. This is all a hustle. But at least the rules don't change mid-game, and this is the problem that some regions have. Or even the language is a problem. I found a grant in Germany. Good luck. A German company that's gonna hold your hand, and to the point of Miami, the fact that we're bilingual and multiple cultures combined, I encourage you guys to look into Spain as a place where you know what you're gonna get, and that's a big a chunk of uncertainty that you would remove from the uncertainty of putting together a project.
No, it's good to hear this from someone who's not living.
Yes,
Like sometimes when you live in the country, it doesn't
You don't perceive it.
Right.
I'm a tourist.
But it's wonderful. No, I love this view. I was going to, I was prepared to talk about the locations, the talent. I was safety, of course, and and the support of the government, and of course, Spain is one. You have seen the video. I think it's the second worldwide destination for tourism, and this is because of our landscapes, because of our castles and the natural parks, and because of the food.
Yes, and I'll say most importantly because of the people también. So absolutely.
It's great to have this because yes, I have to have yes.
You have 2 good spokespeople, 3 actually.
So good ambassadors here.
Ambassadors, yes.
It's wonderful. Yes, but in the last year, Spanish government has made really a huge effort to make things easier for audiovisual, and we have a plan.
Yeah.
And this plan is to give full support.
Yeah.
To food production companies, Spanish companies and companies that want to come to Spain to film.
Yeah, well, I think you might have a long list of those folks after this conference. So we're very excited. We have run out of time, unfortunately. We have to get to our next panel, but I want to thank all of you so much again for your participation. This is great. Spain, Tapas of Mind. Give it up again for our amazing panelists. This is excellent.